Our meeting. We're going to resume our meeting. Thank you, everyone who stayed. We appreciate it. Let's see here. My agenda has disappeared. I think I closed it by accident. All righty. I believe next on Mr. Watts. Comments after presentations. Did anybody have any comments? Right. Approve the minutes. Everyone have an opportunity to read the minutes from April 24th, May 1st, and May 8th. Any questions or comments?
Nope. She does a great job putting them together.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Appreciate it. If there be no corrections, I need a motion to approve the minutes as presented, April 24th, May 1st, and May 8th.
So moved.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. Now, Ms. Hoover.
Good evening. You have the April bank reconciliation and April invoices for approval. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, can you kind of talk about the, where is it at? I opened the wrong thing. The $91,000 check voids.
Oh, it's just happens when if we print a check, it may have been for the wrong amount, we void it, reissue it for the correct amount.
So there was multiple checks that were.
No, it's just, no, it could be, honestly, let me look and see. I don't remember if that was one check, or it could be, sometimes if we print a check batch and the, our check folder sometimes likes to eat the checks, and so then they're not deliverable, so we'll have to unfortunately void them, reprint them, and reissue them. I do not remember what the reasoning for these check voids are, but I can find out.
Well, okay, when you have that on the bank reconciliation statement, I think it's just good to give an explanation as to what, because that's a large amount of voided checks. So, all right, but thank you. Any more questions before we take action? All righty. Well, I need a motion to accept the bank reconciliation statement and file for audit.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Next, we have the invoices for April. Any questions for Ms. Hoover regarding the invoices? And help me out, who is Hooten?
Honestly, I don't know how to pronounce it. Hoffman-Mifflin. That's our, they bought out in the VA or that company, and that was our payment to
Okay,
VA.
I called her about that.
yes, yes, I'm like,
I see big numbers.
so they bought out the company
Oh,
NWEA.
that's what that voided check is. Yes. I knew it, but I didn't want to, yes, that is what that voided check was.
Okay.
So when we cut that check, it was back in the fall, we had the last of our ESSER money that was going to expire. By the time we finally got the invoices straightened out with them for what we actually owed them, the check had expired. we had to void the check, reissue it with a new date.
Very good, very good, very
I'm
good.
glad you asked that.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember it.
Because I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing that.
Right, yeah, they bought out, I guess, I don't know how recently they've been bought out, just in the past, you know, that was kind of the issue with the check, you know, they were having some turnover and some switchover within their company, and we were having some issue with, they were invoicing us for things that they were going to do in the future, and we were only going to pay for what had been, services had been rendered. So once we finally got all that worked out, we had to reissue the check.
Okay, so are we still working with the same staff, or has that been restructured as well? What's,
There's different staff in the buildings, yes, it's different people than it was before.
with NWEA? Okay, so can you all, at a meeting, maybe the June regular meeting?
In June, the work session fifth,
Okay,
give a report.
give a report, okay, very good.
Talk about surveys.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because there's a lot of payments to those people, so we need to. All righty. Any more questions regarding the invoices?
Can you remind me who, this, Case, Martha Casing?
She's one of the speech and language pathologists that works with Ms. Swanson's students.
Gotcha. For some reason, I'm looking at it, it says speeches, and I'm like, wait a second. Is
Yeah,
this someone we
speech
hired to come consult or something?
Only so many characters will fit on this report. So yeah, she's one of the speech language pathologists.
Perfect. Thank you.
I say, Aaron, that's a lot of money for speeches, huh?
No, it was like, she's getting paid like all the time. Right? For, how many speeches is she giving?
All right, if there's no more questions for Ms. Hoover, I need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. The additional documents that Ms. Hoover has provided us with are for information purposes only. Does anyone have any questions regarding the additional items? I see she's got the general fund tentative budget on this as well. Anybody have any questions, or you want to wait till we get to that action item on the agenda? If not, we will move on. Thank you, Ms. Hoover. All right, next is student learning and support services. A lot going on.
Got a lot tonight. So first, on my agenda, I'm gonna ask you all to approve a change at the high school to make the CCR position into a counselor position. I feel Mr. Heidrich has done a good job as a CCR coach. This will just give him 11 more days to work with the kids and do some things that I've challenged him to do, building those relationships with community members. This will increase his pay approximately around $6,000. He's done a great job for us. I would love to keep him here. He shared that he loves what he is doing. He loves to stay in the district. Again, we're not adding a position, just changing his title. He will still be doing the same things, working with the kids, increasing those numbers, and dual enrollment, working with Class A, and all of those things. So I'm going to have him talk a little bit about some of the things that he has done this year and some ways that he has turned things around at the high school as far as the kids, working with the kids, and then some of his plans moving forward. So, Adam?
So I just need my own. Sorry.
Mr. Watson, before you start, can you tell us, is this the funding request, is it is daily rate or is it stipend?
This one is a, index with the counselor's index.
Okay,
So it'd be on the counselor index.
okay, very good.
All right, so first, talk about some data, that I was able to pull on a couple different areas. CCR, I'm very proud of the work that we have done, and, I cannot take credit for everything. We have a strong team, a collaborative effort, to change some things around. The first thing I want to talk about is our college and career readiness. So right now, we have 64 of 79 seniors are post-secondary ready. And then of the 15 students who are not considered post-secondary ready, 6 of those students are at the School of Innovation that we don't see. I do meet with seniors several times a year individually. And so I went through my senior list. Of the 79 seniors, we have a direct and clear plan for 57 of those seniors, whether that be entering the military, trade school, 2 or 4 year college, university, or straight into the workforce. So of those numbers, 42 have indicated that they are going to go to college, and to kind of take that a step further, we did have Gateway come in, and we've also worked with NKU to actually register our students while they're in the building, just to kind of maybe put some of the responsibilities back on the kids. Hey, your schedule, this is a real thing. We're not going to flake out. We're going to do what you say you're going to do in your plan. We have 15 who are entering the workforce directly, and then we do have. So like I mentioned, we have 20 senior graduating students registered to take classes at Gateway for the fall. And about 15 of those students are going to be River City Promise candidates, with the other 5 being enrolled in a Gateway trade. They're not necessarily going to need the River City Promise because their program, their licensure will end after 2 years. But 15 of those 20 should be able to do the Gateway to NKU program and get their Gateway for free, and then get their NKU, or Northern Kentucky University, classes paid for, barring that they qualify for the Pell Grant, like they have this year. Moving on to, or actually, do you have any questions about the college and career readiness aspect of that? Yeah.
Have you engaged with, or have any of the local union slash trade schools engaged with you guys at all? Like, for example, the pipe fitters or the IBEWs or the steel workers?
Yeah. So I know that Mr. Henson helps me with that. He has some contacts in that world. I know that specifically for carpentry, he's had people come in, and we've also had, not the union, but the concrete company came in as well. And in terms of the pipe fitters union, I reached out to, and it was kind of, they were just kind of saying, we try to get them to come out and talk to our kids or participate in career fairs, or tell us, hey, what are you looking for specifically so that we can teach our kids and prepare them for employment. And their message to us, for the person that I talked to, was kind of, right now we have a line out the door, so it's not necessarily an area that we're willing to shift time to. So that was the Pipe Fitters Union in Cincinnati. And then, like I said, we did invite a couple of those. There's another one, Mr. Harris represented, I think maybe one of the Pipe Fitters Unions. We did invite them to our career fair.
Gotcha. I've had some contact with the ironworkers specifically. They do a big fair where they graduate their apprentices, and it's like a big event. And I went to the event, it was a couple of weeks ago, and there were several high schools there, like classes that they were interested in seeing what it was like, and so I have that contact info for you.
Yeah, sure, and I'll follow up with you if there's any way if you have to email me that or whatever you feel is best.
And the business director of that union is a Newport grad too.
Awesome. So. Okay. Moving on to scholarships. So when we look at the 2022-2023 school year, we had approximately 5 scholarship applicants, and then they received most of the scholarships. The same 5 students received most of the scholarships. This year, we're proud to say that we have 28 scholarship applicants, and then we awarded about $65,000 in scholarships on awards night. So we're really proud of that. Now the next challenge is getting with those seniors and making sure that they're that they are fulfilling their end of the deal, bringing back their class schedule, things like that, that have been kind of an area in the past of, hey, you get this money, and then it kind of falls through, and now that money is either gone or back in the pot. But we're going to address that. I plan to address that during graduation practice, because the seniors are all seniors, no matter what their program is, will be in one place at one time. So I do plan to address that and make sure that they have a clear understanding of what they need to do to get that scholarship money. And then FAFSA-wise, so of the students who are pursuing college or a trade school that will accept FAFSA, 95% of those students have completed their FAFSA. They're all done. They're ready to go. They're waiting on some financial aid packages. We do have a couple of students who are in some unique circumstances that we've been working with our local FAFSA rep on and acting in FAFSA at the government level, that we're trying to figure some things out so that we can get those students some aid money. So that's kind of the FAFSA spiel. We did only have, of the students, we've only had one student who did not receive the federal Pell Grant. So, having the conversation with those kids and understanding the importance of grant money versus loan money, scholarship money to make sure, our goal is always to make sure that they can get their highest level of education that's necessary for them without getting into a ton of loan debt. And then the last piece that I kind of have is talking about dual credit. So for this year, dual credit wise, we had 14 YSA students start the year. That's where they're full-time at UKU. So all seniors graduated from that program, and most of those seniors already have an associate's degree. There's a couple who might have had to, took certain classes to get to UK or somewhere else that they get their associates, but they're well on their way, and they are successfully completing their path. 5 juniors will continue, and two will return to Newport. We did have one return in January, and then we'll have another one return for next year, based on our conversations with them, the interventions that were provided, and then the recommendation from UKU as well. So our estimated 24-25 enrollment for YSA will be 11. We should have 6 sophomores and 5 juniors in that program.
Great.
Gateway, so for this year we had 20 students registered to take Gateway classes. 19 of those 20 passed all classes in both semesters. We did have one student that had to return mid-year. And then for next year, we have 30 students registered. So we've grown in the dual credit arena. We'll have 30 students participate in the traditional Gateway setup, and we also have 2 students who will be taking full-time classes at Gateway.
Yes.
I'm taking full-time classes again.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
Yeah, so we're excited about that, and I also think that we'll have some continued growth in our numbers and continued success, especially with the state coming out now paying for the state with their dual credit scholarship will take care of 2 classes per semester instead of 1. So I think that'll be big as well.
Great, great. Excellent report, excellent report. I mean, excellent report. To hear that 30 students are taking Gateway classes, that's what we've been, working towards and pushing for, and it's just, but as you always say, if no one owns it, it typically doesn't get done. So having this position has proven to be a valuable position. See, we got a student right there shaking her head, yes, yes, yes. So, and that's what we need, we need, because, when you think about what principals and counselors are doing, they're spread so thin, so to have somebody focus on it, this proves that it pays. We're getting a return on our investment. So thank you so much. Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that, of all the students who got their scholarships and are going through the YSA program and succeeding, that speaks well of their preparation before they got there. So all the high school teachers, all the middle school teachers, all the primary school teachers, you've done a good job to get them to this point. Thank you.
I was also going to add that after that academic banquet, I talked to a few of the folks that were awarding the scholarships, and they were very complimentary on how well the applications were put together in comparison to past years. I mean, having you on board, we've made strides in getting those applications completed
The
completely
communication, and the communication.
in communication, and, you're doing a great job, so thank you.
Thank you.
And it's kind of to provide also, a lot of this has been great, and I'm glad that, as a team, we've been able to make strides. But one area, for growth I do want to present, because, there are a lot of areas that we need to grow in and need to get better. The biggest barrier for our kids is transportation, especially when we look at work-based learning and things like that. So I have met with Mr. Watts, and we plan to present from the Newport Business Council, to see if we can find some local partners in the cities where our kids can still participate in work-based learning, but they're able to maybe walk and get there, so then they can start earning some money, and then they can get a car, then it's a positive domino effect at that point. So that's kind of our number one priority area of growth moving forward.
Well, that's a great plan. Keep us posted. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Adam. All right, next up, we tabled the library surplus books at our last meeting because we all had some questions and wanted to have the librarian come and talk to us about the reasons for the surplus. So she's here today, Brittany. Come on up, please. And she will talk about the reasons for the book surplus and then answer any questions that you may have.
Good evening. My name is Brittany Parr. I am a Newport graduate. I graduated in 2008. I am currently the high school librarian. I was hired in February. And I know I sent you a big list of numbers. And it seems very large. And I'm sure you have lots of questions, but I would like to discuss my statistics. So we have a company called Follow Destiny. That's the database that all the librarians use. And I spoke with a representative, and we did a data analysis to track. I have 14,049 things in my collection. This is books, tech, book room, and surplus. My average age of the library is 2008. My grade level is 5th grade. If you look at the average age, which is 48% of the collection of nonfiction, it's 2001. I sent this to you guys.
Yes.
I also have examples of, so for history and geography, we only have 1,340 books in that genre, and its average age is 2004. So when I was looking through this, I've only been here for 3 months, so I spent the better part of my time cleaning out the library. The previous librarian believed a full library is a good library, and that's not always necessarily the case. I know the numbers are big, but a great example is I have 9 copies of Dogman Roderick Rules, Roderick Rules for Diver Lincoln. I do not need 9 copies of those books, and one is actually circulating. If it was a Kentucky Bluegrass Award winner, she would order anywhere from 5 to 9 copies. And if we were doing book units, that would be fantastic. But we are not. And what I first did was, when I was weeding out all of this stuff and categorizing and looking at the data and the analysis, I did a free book fair. And it's been wildly successful. I also have incorporated free books throughout the school. So in the cafeteria, we're seeing kids take books home. But during this time, I also wanted to expand the library to work in tandem, because libraries help bridge the gap of education and literacy. So I've had classes come into the library, and since working there from February 5th I was hired, I've had over 300 books circulated in my library.
I'm sold.
So I know leading kind of sounds scary, and it sounds like a lot, and I'm willing to continue keeping the books to continue free book fairs, because I think that all kids should have access to books for free. And I still have a lot of books that haven't even been cataloged into our system that I'm going to use for back to school. But many of the books are so outdated, and I brought a great example. This is the Kid's Guide to Digital Photography, and this is a camera from like 2001. And things change. But I've had students come in doing research projects on the Cold War, or we'll do research projects on Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe, and I would only have 1 book on Edgar Allan Poe that a whole class would need. or the Cold War would be a book from 1982. There's just a lot of information and it's coming out rapidly. And I wanted to make the library as efficient as possible because these students, they really need access to this information. And I know we're leaning so far into technology, but these kids still crave tangible books. Like, don't let them fool you. They will come to the library and they do puzzles and play board games and they'll color and they'll read books. And I think in the time that we live in, it seems that libraries will shift away from books and go into ebooks, audiobooks. And we will a little bit, but I do think we're going to see a resurgence of libraries. And I think that we can already see the data of more librarians being hired, especially in Kentucky. So this was my report for that, and that was my reasoning for leaving.
Thank you,
Do you
thank
have any
you.
questions? I'm happy to send over this report to you guys as well. I know that HR has it, so.
We have it.
Oh, okay.
And thank you. I mean, we really just wanted to know the thought process behind it, the purpose, the goal, and you did an excellent job of explaining the why. So I thank you for coming, appreciate it. But you know, when we get a list like that, to approve, it's like, so it's always good for us to know the why, because we're the elected officials. So when we approve things, people come and ask us questions and we need the answers, so thank you.
I do have a question. What are you gonna do with all the extra space that you're gonna free up?
That's so funny. I actually have, Grayson and I make a joke about a floor in the office, because if you have ever previously seen the office, you couldn't see it. And now I have a table where students can come work in there and we test in there. And with the extra space, I've added life-size games for students to come in. And then I do have room for books to grow, and I would like to continue growing. I also would like to say that in our collection, it may be outdated, but we do have a really high diversity in our collection, which is fantastic, and I was really happy to see that. So with that space, I just want to keep making the library accessible for all of our students and a fun place to learn.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Ms. Bond, if I could add one thing.
Yes.
If we have students who are coming to the library now because they want to come to the library, we have teachers bringing them. And one of the great things is, if you ever get the opportunity, when we have a teacher coming in to get the opportunity to watch Ms. Barr co-teach or teach, phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. She's one of the best teachers I've been around for a long, long time. So she does a phenomenal job. We're very lucky to have her.
Yes, we picked up on that. But thank you. She did an excellent job presenting and explaining why. And I think it's great that you had the initiative, to make the library current, attractive to our students, because there are a lot of kids who still want to be like me. I still like books, and I still want to be able to, I read online a lot for my job, so when I want to read something pleasurable, I print a lot, because I like to be able to hold it and touch it, so thank you. Those are great numbers, and literacy is the key, and so we appreciate the effort to get our kids back involved in reading, and because reading a book can take you so many places, and our kids need to see and dream, and books make you do that. So thank you. Get them off of TikTok. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Watts.
All right, I just want to remind you all of a couple of dates that are coming up. So we have the Memorial Day Parade Monday.
Which I keep forgetting about.
If anybody's planning to participate in that, I think lineup is it 9 o'clock or 8:30, Kim? 8:30? Do you remember? I think it's 8:30, and it's at the normal place where we line up. They will, walk us down to the city building. And I will be participating in the parade. Graduation is June the 1st, so that'll be Saturday after this one coming. We'll have 2 graduations, and SOI is doing their own this year. And it will be an auditorium starting at 9:30. So if any of you wanna, participate in that, I guess we need to be there by 9. I will be there, for that one, and then the high school will start at 11. So line up, it's what, 10:30? Tim, so be up at the high school, not coming for NSLI at 10:30 on Saturday morning. Questions about any of those dates?
As far as the parade, is there anyone else from the school participating?
Yes, is Chrissy doing the Wildcat thing this time? Cause she normally gets her little runners. I know she did last
She
year.
hasn't said a word to me though.
Well, I know I'm gonna talk to my student group tomorrow, see if they can participate, my student superintendent group. And the boys' basketball team is supposed to march in the parade as well. So
Good.
those are the groups that I know, about. And the band.
Okay, good,
Talked to
good.
the band director, so he has, put in for them to march and play.
Well, very good, thank you. Newport Pride.
We have a group walking as well.
Great, 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 great. I need a new Newport shirt.
8:30.
All right, very good.
One more thing, I have in this, we can talk about this later on, but we are bringing to you to approve a 4% raise for our teachers this year. And we, looked around and we wanted to stay competitive, so we checked what the other districts were doing around us, and they were doing anywhere from, some were doing 2%, some were 7%. So, the 4% will keep us, where we need to be right there. It won't move us to the top, but it'll keep us in the same sales that we've been in, and keeps us competitive around the area. We're also asking for a $1.50 increase for the classified staff, so we'll talk about that later once we get to the new business, but we'll mention that. So next up, we have curriculum department. Thank you.
Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Watts. You have our report. You notice the majority of our report is talking about professional development. Our teachers have really moved toward an improvement of practice. So we've searched out opportunities for them to participate over the summer. We have several that are taking off of their time and participating in a lot of these professional developments that we presented in our report. And I have an update on the Ron Clark report, which is an all-expense paid trip to Atlanta to his school to learn about his engagement strategies. And at first we were given 3 scholarships, and I'm known to be a harassing advocate for my teachers. I took 6 to the program, so I called and asked, can I get 3 more? So I brought 6 people, and 3 people got something, so they sent me 3 more. So then we had 6. But then today she called me with 4 more. So we'll have 10 teachers participating.
Good, good,
Atlanta in July.
good, all free.
Are there any questions about any part of our report? Our summer program, are we doing that? So, yeah, summer program.
Can you give me a little insight as to who's doing that? Is that 21st Century or is that?
21st Century,
Okay, it'll be on your report? You can talk about it when you come, okay.
but the curriculum side I can talk about, we are
Okay.
going to use already. Similar to what we did last year, the students have been selected to participate, as well as those that already participate in 21st Century. The teachers are taking that data and picking out standards that those students haven't mastered, and those are the standards they'll be assessed on, that'll be taught during the summer program, and then we'll reassess at the end.
Okay. Okay, very good. So they will have to register to be in the program. You'll have a number count for us?
Yeah, I think Jenny nailed it.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you. Very excited. So we'd like for these teachers to go through the Ron Clark program to maybe come to a board meeting in the future to kind of share their experience?
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned in the report, all the teachers that are participating in these different professional development opportunities have agreed to be model classrooms.
Great.
So they'll be able to present a PowerPoint and say, this is how their classroom looks different, some videos of them actually teaching in a particular style, so that when other teachers need to see a teacher, we have it right here in the house. in
Great.
person, And they can go watch a classroom.
Very good.
So, with the scholarship to the school in Atlanta, so that's paid for by the scholarship, so we're just paying for travel, is that right?
We're not paying for anything. Huntington Bank pays completely.
For travel too?
For travel, for all their expenditures, for food and everything else. We don't pay for anything.
Fantastic.
You're welcome.
That's what I like to hear.
Fits the budget well.
Yes, very good. Huntington Bank, did you say Huntington Bank?
Huntington Bank, yes.
Great job.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, next up, we have our DPP report. James Stewart.
Madam Chair, members of the board, you have a copy of the May regular DPP report. One of the most important things that I can say is tomorrow, as of tomorrow, we have 6 days of instruction left. So kids, you're watching out there, you have to show up 6 more times, okay? I did include this month a breakdown of the non-resident enrollment by districts so that you can see the percentages. And to answer your question, over 250, almost 300 students have been invited to summer school through 21st Century Extended School Services. And a huge portion of this also comes from our Horizons grant that we work with Covington Partners.
Okay.
So I just asked Ms. Hayden, at the primary school right now, we're looking 20, 25 per class, but they can do up to 30 per teacher. We still have some registrations that need to come in, some parental permissions and things like that. The intermediate school is pretty solidly set. And at the high school, we still have some students we need to check on after this next week to make sure that they are eligible. So this year's a little different in that it's not an any and all that can attend. And I did list in the report what those criterion are. First, you have to be a 21st century participating student, or if you stay for extended school services. If you are a student in Tier 2 or Tier 3 for reading or math. And then at the secondary level, if you are a student failing one or more classes, or if you are a student who has been identified as chronically absent. Then if we have any space left after that, then we can open it up. It does begin Wednesday, June 5th, and it will end Wednesday, June 3rd.
Did you say June 5th and June 3rd?
Sorry. Well, I'm so good. This was an April report on a
That's really a flip flash.
Yeah.
It's been a great month with you all.
Yes, it has.
We've spent every Wednesday again.
Okay, so you're targeting certain students.
We are, yes.
Okay.
So, and it's really dependent on which program you're in. So we have 21st century money and funding that we use, and that, you know, the services are open to those students and those families who've taken advantage of it throughout the year. So they have the first choice there. If you are a student in extended school services or after school or before school tutoring, you know, if you're the student who's been coming after school and you've been working with staff and you're wanting to improve, absolutely, definitely want you coming to summer programming. If you are struggling in something, if you're struggling in reading, if you're struggling in math, that's the next group of students we're going to be looking at, especially when the teachers are specifically targeting standards that the kids, those individual kids, have not met. And then we definitely want to address the issue of failing one or more classes. Mr. Hydrick was speaking earlier about how far students are coming, and part of that is our retention rate and our race to graduation. You know, how many kids are graduating within 4 years? What are we doing in 6, 7, and 8 to make sure that they're prepared, you know, for those high school credit-bearing years? And then if a student has been chronically absent, you know, chronically absent means you miss school for excused and unexcused reasons. So any student that would be chronically absent would also be eligible off the top.
So are there any of the students that it's mandatory for?
Yes, we also have some students that are court ordered to attend summer school. So if you have had a major attendance issue, and if you got into court or with the CDW's office and you didn't make what the judge expected, then we do have judges that are court ordering students to summer school. So we will maintain their attendance and continue to report back to their attorney, to the prosecuting attorney, and to the judge throughout the summer.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
I do want to point out really quickly, it may have already been said, the high school graduation in NSOI on June 1st, but also May 29th is the graduation for Newport Intermediate School for the 6th graders.
Yes. I think I had it.
All right, next up, we have facilities and transportation.
Madam Chair, members of the board, good evening. For new business this evening, I am requesting your approval for the contract for tank for next year. That, I think, is the only item that I have for new business. You have a copy of my report. Do you have any questions?
I forgot to ask you, many of those kids with summer school are transported, are they? They are
No.
walking?
Well, no, yeah, no,
They do?
sorry, yes,
Oh,
you're
okay.
transported. Yes, we have two buses that'll be going around town.
Okay.
Sorry, curveball up here.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There's, last time you mentioned that, there was a tree that was, dead on the side of the building.
Yes, right out here.
Is that, are there still plans to have that taken out?
Yes, during the summer, when it's less crowded, we're gonna have to bring it down. So I don't wanna do it now when there's still lots of cars and kids.
So you'll put that on the report whenever that's gonna happen?
Yeah, I put it in the report that it's the second item in my report. Yes. And under facilities.
Is the ovation project completed?
The School of Innovation, yes, I just need to put some wax on the floor. Did you find it, Mr. Sutherland?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And under facilities.
Sees it?
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it.
No, I don't see it.
Can I look over your shoulder to see what report you have?
Yeah.
The one for
Yeah.
April 24th.
Yeah, April 24th is,
Yeah.
but the wind guards, do look really good.
Kim, did I send you the wrong one? Okay. Okay, so I will relate to you from the report, or you, unfortunately, a locust tree in the board office NIS parking lot died over the summer. When it is less crowded, we will need to remove this tree. We will evaluate at that time a new tree/species to plant in its place. Also, a pine tree died at NHS. Once that is removed, we will put another pine in its place. So I apologize. You
It's
have
just,
the wrong
it's just
report.
the wrong report. It's all right.
Okay, so there it is. I mean, there's a
What
copy of
what
it.
date is that?
So, May 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the wrong one got attached.
Did I send you the wrong one? I'm sorry.
I didn't read it, so I didn't.
My fault. So I will send you, I'll get it to you somehow, so I apologize. So
No, you get
let me
this
go
one.
through a little bit more then, since you don't have it. We're continuing with the onboarding process for Navigate for our threat assessment software that we'll be using next year. MOS 365 will be at the stadium in June for their annual safety inspections and GMAX testing that takes place. Mr. Sutherland, you mentioned the windscreen, so I think it looks good.
Yeah, and I noticed that you put them all the way to the basketball court, so it's gonna, eliminate the possibility of people standing in the basketball court or the tennis courts watching a football game for free.
It has some color and some light down there. so
And, yeah, it's very festive, it's red.
Yeah. So again, we've got some tree work to do. We're continuing with the boiler project. I listed on here several summer projects that are occurring. We've got the portalettes and hand washing station order for the stadium for the games this year. Trying to think of anything else significant. And we'll have our certified evaluator training on July 23rd. I do apologize. I thought I said. Any questions?
You know, those steps on 8th Street to go down to the stadium, that area is still so poorly maintained, so any conversations with who, is that our responsibility or the city? Okay.
The other thing that I was gonna mention to you is, and I keep meaning to just text you or call you, but the lights on the front of the high school, like on the awning in the front door, there's a light that's out, it's been out for a while.
We'll take care of it. Thank
So,
you.
can I finish mine?
Sorry? I didn't know I was interrupted.
So, it's just, it's been that way for a while.
Okay.
So what do we need to do? Because even though it's the city, it's still
I will make a
part of,
phone call tomorrow.
yes, part of our dwelling place, you know, the stadium, the nice stadium.
People make the connection that.
Right, it is us. So, you know, whatever we need to do, partner with the city to try to keep that area clean, it's trash, you know, so we need to speak with the city about what can we do to maintain that area a little bit better.
I'll go over and I'll also make the contacts.
Appreciate it, and if you could let us know, because, I mean, I think it's another option for us to partner with them and work something out as to how we can maintain that better. All right, thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, you have my report. Do you have any questions?
Great job on the bocce.
Oh, it's fun again.
Isn't it? That was really, really good, and to see our young men step up like they did and bond with those students, you know, that just goes such a long way.
And a few of those students actually came to the awards banquet, the athletic awards banquet
Yes.
as well, so they're buddies with them, you know, it's
Yes,
great, it's what we
yes,
need.
Yes, it is.
They talked strategy, and it worked out.
And that was the whole point of the Main
Three
Street.
of the four won first place.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 won first place. It was a great day. It was really nice when you put in all 3 events.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, because when you think about the Main Street, you know, the program where, you know, students like that are supposed to, you know, blend in with the other students, you know, that was a goal of Newport many years ago. And we have done a really good job of, you know, letting our students interact with each other. And, you know, those young men doing that just was the icing on the cake, because it gives those kids, they move into that normal arena, and it does a lot for them. You know, like that young man that was here, he was so excited to be here, and so when he saw himself on the screen, he got even more excited. You know, so. But thank you. I think that's
That's a great segue into
Okay.
an event that happened in the last week of April. We had Choose to Include campaign.
oh
Basically,
wonderful.
this campaign focuses on inclusion and ensuring that students take care of their peers, and the peers look out for each other. And one aspect of it is students take pledges. And the pledge I'd like to read out loud, if I may. It is, I pledge to look for and build a better relationship with the lonely, the isolated, the left out, the challenged, and the bullied. I pledge to overcome the fear of difference and replace with the power of inclusion. All 3 schools participated in the week Choose to Include campaign week, the last of April. And here are a couple of the slides.
Wonderful, wonderful.
They read books to students. Students would read selections. That's the students taking pledges. There was swag, you got your bracelet, stickers.
Wow. Great, great.
They did a great job. They led the event, and then the teachers did a wonderful job.
Yes, that's great. That's taking mainstream to another level. Yeah.
You also have the mental health clinician's yearly report, and I would like to bring up Ms. Hannah Lundy. She is the mental health clinician at the hospital.
Hi.
Like Ms. Swanson said, my name is Hannah. I am the counselor, mental health counselor at the hospital. This is my first year at Newport. I really enjoyed it so far, but I want to kind of give an overview of what we as mental health counselors do every day, because in a school, usually people are thinking about education and those kinds of things, but we're there to support students and do all of those things. So we work with students both in the regular ed population and in the special education population, where we can be listed as a related service. Can't remember the word. Related service to provide them extra support during their day at school. So a lot of my students I see on their IEP, or kids that I have that are in special education that have IEP, I see them for 30 minutes once a week. And so I meet with them and we talk about whether it's issues at home, at school. We tend to work and we diagnose students. We do a full mental health assessment. We're all licensed in the state of Kentucky. I'm a clinical mental health counselor, and Brandy and Kristen are both social workers. And we work with students and diagnose them and have anything from depression, anxiety, ADHD, so attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, for impulse control and stress levels, and up to PTSD and working with trauma in our students as well. So when we approach minimal issues, daily issues, like, oh, there was a fight in the hallway, or I had this fight with my parents this morning, and we work through those things, figure out how to get home, to some really intense, different things that sometimes our students unfortunately go through. So that was one thing I wanted to focus on. One of the things that, fortunately, all three of us are trained in now, thanks to Mr. Watts. I came here trained in a therapy called EMDR, which stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. And then after kind of talking with Kristen and Brandy, they were able to get it approved so Mr. Watts could pay for their training as well, because it is a very, very effective training, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, or effective modality, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So eye movement desensitization and processing, or EMDR, is a brain-based trauma treatment. So what it does is it works with your brain's natural responses and its natural way that it works every day, and the way that it processes information and holds memory to process through those really traumatic experiences that some people may have experienced. So, for example, like if someone was like got in a car accident and then they were afraid to drive. Usually anytime sometimes people when they go through experiences like that, they believing. All of these different things. But what EMDR does is it helps them isolate those situations and move those traumatic memories that get stuck where you feel like you're in that fight or flight mode all the time. It helps move it out of that emotional response part in your brain and puts it into long-term memory so you don't have those emotional responses anymore. It's still sad, it's still scary, but you don't have the same responses that you're having that you had in the moment. So using this in a school setting is a little different, obviously, because we have to send them back to class every day. But EMDR isn't just about processing those traumatic memories. It's about building coping skills. It's about building communication skills. It's about all of these different things that work together to help people be more, and students especially, be more successful in working through those traumatic events and experiences to be able to continue in school to work through those things. There's a lot more to it, and I honestly could talk about EMDR forever.
Yeah.
But I won't bore you guys because it's a lot of scientific stuff. So, but are there any questions about any of that or anything else that mental health clinicians do after today?
But, I'm glad this training seems like, because, it's good that they have the tools that they need, to, help them de-escalate, to calm down. Oftentimes we say calm down, but what does that mean? What does that look like? And how do I do that?
Yeah.
So this is really good news because a lot of our students do have traumatic experiences in their homes, and unfortunately, but helping them move past it and know that they can go on and still live and still be healthy and have a future. They have to move past that traumatic experience and not let it define them.
Exactly. And that's what this does. It helps them not feel those responses and not feel their body reacting, even though they may feel like they're past it, but their body's not past it.
Yeah.
And that's what it does, is it helps them move past that so they can go do those things that everyone expects them to do when not everyone is ready for that all the time.
Great. We're so happy we have the services you guys provide.
Yes.
It's imperative that we do it. Mental health is so important. It's Mental Health Awareness Month.
It is.
Thank you
That
for
was,
the pins.
I was going to say that at the beginning, and I forgot. If anyone wants mental health awareness stickers, I have a few bracelets, buttons, pencils, stickers in my backpack. Mental Health Awareness Month in May. Yay!
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty. Let's see, is that it for, is that all the reports? Yes, it is. All right. We have old business, nothing. New business, we have a lot. Okay. Let's walk through this. Any questions regarding the personnel report? It's the end of the year.
I noticed that this year we're calling it, in the past it's been called non-renewed, but it's called non-rehire. Is that the same thing?
Yes, it's the same thing, right, Kim? Just calling it different.
Okay.
Yes, non-rehires.
All these articles that are surplus, where do they go? I mean, if they surplus and get rid of them, we just
For
sell them, dump them,
which items are you
all
talking
the
about?
surplus items, the books, technology, fitness equipment.
The only one I'm responsible for is the fitness equipment. So for that, what we will do, we'll put them out for bid, and if someone wants to buy them, they're welcome to buy them, but after that, then for the most part, we'll take them to the junkyard, and we'll get a small check, and it comes back to us.
Okay. So being there's no place to store that stuff, I was just wondering, okay.
Okay, any questions regarding the tentative budget? And the recommendation to renew the auditor's contract with Maddox and Associates?
We've had them for how many years now?
This will be,
Year
year 4.
This
four?
will be year 4, and I think that we moved from the other ones after 4 years, maybe. There was something, we switched to them, this will be,
I don't know how long they've been our auditor, 'cause that was right as the transition, so I don't know how long, Barnstable has been the district's auditor.
I feel like it'd be.
Mr. Maddox has been the auditor for my entire time here.
Right. We usually look at it every 4 years.
Our understanding was the auditor that did it, was there, right, 10
Yes.
plus. The firm name changed, but it was.
Still the same, right, so. Alrighty. Next is the 24-25 salary schedules. We have some proposed recommendation. Mr. Watts or Ms. Hoover, you prepared to talk to the board about this, these proposed salary increases?
Yes, well, I talked about, we're proposing a 4% increase for the, certified and $1.50 raise for the classified. Now, the other, district extra services and athletic and the administrative supplemental, those did change. We just have to get those approved each year. So the only change will be the certified and the classified pay schedules.
Okay, and do you have an estimated cost of this proposed salary?
It's in the tentative budget.
Can you,
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, the 14.5 million.
okay.
What was it last year?
I don't remember.
4% less?
But, something around that, I don't remember what it was. It's about $500,000 increase.
That's what I wanted to
Okay,
know
yes.
what the
Yeah, it's
increase
about
was.
$500,000 increase.
That's sort of, is it okay if I make some comments?
Yes.
It's been talked about in the community, and especially with the, the education task force, they've talked about reducing central office salary, reducing the disparity between teacher pay and central office pay. I know that over the past few years, that actually has been lowered due to attrition. For example, there are 2 or 3 positions that are on the administrative central office list that are no longer being filled, and those duties have shifted to other roles. So there's 2 or 3 positions on there that would have been maybe $100,000 each that are so we're saving $200,000-$300,000
Right.
based on those not being filled.
Right.
That being said, I still personally, looking at it, it really seems to me that there's a pretty big disparity between teacher pay and central office pay. I know that these things are tied together. I would really like to have some time for the board to look at this during a work session and consider all these things. I know that this is the first time that Mr. Davis has had a chance to look at this stuff. This will be the 4th time I've had a chance to look at it, so I'm pretty, fairly well versed in it, but I would personally would like to propose to table this if we can. I am a proponent of doing the 4% raise, especially for the teachers, and just kind of explore and have a good conversation during a work session about this. It's not too late to do that, right? We can
Anybody else
But
need?
we also, we would have had to, if you wanted to reduce district admin.
No, that's not what I'm.
Oh, okay, I was
I'm
gonna
not
say, that would have
proposing-
had to have happened before May 15th.
I'm not proposing reducing anything at all.
Okay.
I think that everybody deserves to have a cost of living increase. I just want to have a detailed discussion about how these things all work and how they're all tied together, and do some research on this. There's been some questions about what the law, like how the law works with these tables, and there's a lot going on, so it'd be
Yeah.
nice to have a little bit more time on this.
Right, and I would like to say that, you know, prior to Mr. Watts, we were doing a lot of stipends, you know, because, you know, people do multiple duties.
Yep.
And so they got a stipend for each duty. So somebody would have, if they did their normal job and then they did three other additional responsibilities outside of their position, some of them had 3 stipends. So we went to the multiply index to try to eliminate, you know, this teacher having maybe 1 stipend, this person having maybe 2, this person having
Yeah.
3. We had some people that were coaches, so they might have 4 or 5 stipends. So it was kind of hard to keep up with all of that financially, book-wise. So Mr. Watts brought that to the board, that he would prefer to see the multipliers made it actually a little bit simpler, and your multiplier was based on your responsibilities. So the multipliers are based on it, so it still is taking into consideration all the extra duties, but it kind of streamlines and allows us to base the multiplier on the role, the responsibilities, and all that. So I'm okay with having that conversation, you know, digging into it as a board, making sure our new board members, you know, understand the why that we do what we do. I'm proposing that June 5th. We already have a meeting scheduled.
Okay, yeah.
It's already a work session, but we need to be prepared to take action, probably. I don't know if we will be prepared. June 5th.
So maybe,
Yeah.
so we'd have to change this.
So a special meeting.
Right, yeah, also just to, if I may add in just regarding the discrepancy in our pay, there is also a discrepancy in the number of contract days. Teachers work 186 days, district admin and principals work 240 days.
Yep.
So we have an additional 55 days in our contract.
Yep.
So that does kind of help explain some of that disparity some as
Sure.
well.
Right, and if teachers work those additional 55 days, they would probably be receive the same amount of
Yes.
pay.
No, it's a daily rate. At the end of the day, you're getting an increase in your daily rate.
Right.
And I'm sure teachers would love to have that extra time if they could, because
Right.
instead of making 70,000, they'd be making 95,
Right,
you know, or whatever, you know.
right, but a lot of them don't want to give up their summers either, so.
Yeah, many of them chose that job because of that, so, yeah, so it is, and we have to keep in mind that our administrators are classified as teachers. You know, their salary is based on their rank as teachers. So we have to keep, there's a lot of pieces to these calculations, and so we want to make sure that we consider, you know, all those calculations as we're looking at this. And thank you for all the work, because we do want to be competitive. We want to keep, you know, and continue to have, you know, strong staff that cares about our kids. You know, it takes a special group for our kids, because we have a lot of kids that have diverse needs, and we're doing a great job. So we want to make sure that we keep who we have and be attractive to others. You know, we always want to be a district where people want to come to work. That's what a lot of companies do, and as an employer, we want to make sure that we provide a culture where people want to come here and work in Newport. So,
Because I've worked places where you didn't get raises, and it creates a lot of discourse.
it does. People leave jobs.
I think, I was thinking about it some more and looking at it,
Yes.
and doing it right.
Right.
I think it's a good idea, because I think we definitely need to do something to keep our good teachers and draw some more in.
That's right. That's right.
And I want to reiterate, nothing that I'm proposing, talking about is gonna reduce any pay. I want everybody to get a raise. But especially teachers, because those are the front line, those are the people that are teaching our students and, that are in the classroom. I think it's really important that we support those guys. So I just, I propose we strike this from the agenda and, move it to a special meeting on June 5th.
All right, we have a motion to, remove consent agenda items 4, is that it? And, let's see, 5.
Second.
All in favor? All right, any questions about the rehire of the 3 mental health therapists? Any questions about transition the CCR position to the guidance counselor?
Not after tonight.
All right. Any questions regarding the NTA agreement? Any questions regarding 9 through 13 consent agenda items? All righty. So we have a motion we did that, so now I need a motion to approve consent agenda items 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
So moved.
It's been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, very good. Any, let's see, do I have any comments? Oh, yeah, it's a June regular meeting date discussion.
Can we do the 19th?
Juneteenth, man.
Yeah, I know we're out, but the 26th, I won't be here, and Jennifer won't be here.
Which Jennifer?
Hoover.
Oh.
On the,
Too many Jennifers.
on the 26th of June, right?
Yeah. Now, again, we'll be here for the 26th, so some of the other people may not be because they may be on vacation.
I don't know, Darla does a pretty good job whenever you're not here.
So, but the regular meeting, we would need our treasurer.
Sure.
So, you're not here on the 26th, and Tony's not here on the 26th. And the 19th,
I can be here.
can you be here on the
We're out that
19th?
day, but I can be here.
They can work on a holiday, though.
Now,
I hate
and
to
do we have to do it on Wednesday? That's the
No,
question, too.
we can do
So
it
we can
Tuesday.
do it another day that works for you.
So what,
But I won't be, I won't be, I'll get back on the, so I can do 2021.
What about 18th?
I would be on the plane on 18 coming back. So I may not be back I won't be back until 8:20 p.m.
So June 20th?
That works for me.
it doesn't work for me. Oh, yes, it will, yes, it will.
Does it work?
Yes, it will.
I'm good. I'm good. 20th.
You good on the
What's
20th?
June 20th?
I'm not for sure. I've got
It's a
something going on
Thursday.
my calendar with me, so I don't know.
Okay.
23.
So we're looking at 6 or 6:30.
Should we tentatively schedule it or wait till the special?
We can tentatively schedule it so we can put it on our set, and then you check.
I'll let you know when I check, when I get home and check my calendar.
Okay.
I'll bring a list.
We're gonna go ahead and go with, what are you doing this summer?
A lot of stuff, but the week before the 26th works, the week of the 20th.
Okay, so that June 20th works for you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we
Okay.
change the times for some?
Yes, the summer, our meeting starts at 5. Does that work for you? No, Tim's,
I'll try it.
Oh,
Tim,
yeah, that's right.
we got Tim now, so he's
Can we do
doing all,
6?
Yeah, I can do 6 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or 6?
5 could be sketchy, 6 for sure.
okay, all right,
So I
6.
usually get out of there about 4:30 or 5.
We could do 5:30. 6 o'clock.
Trying to get a bingo here?
Can I get a 5:30, can I get a 5:45?
So June 5 is 5:30 or just 6 o'clock?
No, Tim said that LRC can be here at 6.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be acceptable.
So 6 o'clock on, we'll take those 30 minutes, so June 5th.
Yeah.
So all meetings starting June until school resumes will be at 6 o'clock. So we will meet June 5th at 6 o'clock, and on June 20th, tentatively at 6 o'clock. Ms. Covington will confirm, and Kim, can you send out a confirmation once she confirms with you that she can do that date? If not, we'll have to revisit. All righty.
And if we do have to cancel the 26th, we would cancel.
Yes, we will not meet on the 26th.
Okay. Take it out now.
Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's it. Is that it? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. I beat you.
Third.
And this, I know